The Wedding Favor, Part 12. It's a straight trek to her apartment with no interruptions. That's exactly the reason Ella gets to work so early. Everyone else is still busy and she can do her own thing. Today, her own thing includes grabbing 2-day-old pizza from the fridge and dropping herself onto her tiny love seat. She stretches out as much as she can, which means throwing her legs over one of the armrests. She'd like a bigger couch, except it would make her apartment feel crowded. It's perfect the way it is. Comfy, cozy, and a little minimalist. The pizza is good. All pizza is, even cold. But after yesterday's 7-meal course, it is a bit disappointing. Is Ella really that spoiled from one extravagant meal? She mulls it over, staring at her cold pizza she slowly chews. She makes her way through 2 pieces before she realizes she's not spoiled. The pizza is. Ella groans and throws her head back against the armrest. This day is just the worst. She needs a shower and an early night, so this day is over. It takes a long and hot shower for Ella to finally feel relaxed again. It's probably the first time in months she felt this serene and calm, which made clang of cutlery in her kitchen extra jarring. Ella dons her robe, tying it around her waist haphazardly. She grabs the closest thing to a weapon in her bathroom, a nail file, and slowly sidles out of her bathroom. Ella doesn't dare breathe for the 2 steps it takes her to get a view of the kitchen. It's Maria. Ella's mom is in her kitchen, rummaging through the drawers, acting as if she's home. Ella groans and her mother jumps in surprise. "Ella, sweetheart! You move like a ghost, I swear." Her mother turns to Ella and promptly clutches her heart in offense. "You're not dressed!" Yes, dear, use proper language." Got out of the shower. Ella finishes. She hides the nail file in her pocket. She'll never hear the end of it if her mother notices the thing. "I was not expecting you to come over, Mom." Ella's mother clucks her tongue. "Well, I was expecting a phone call, but that didn't happen. I had to make sure you were all right." She looks around the apartment, disdain pulling her mouth down. It's totally not warranted. Ella's apartment is clean and homely. Sure, it's small, but she lives alone, so who cares? Not Ella, and that is all that matters. The only clutter in the room is the large black dress bag laid out over the back of the love seat. Ella's stomach sinks. She knows why her mother is really here. "I really wish you'd move back home. It would be so much safer for you, sweetheart." Maria leans forward and fake whispers behind her hand. "When I came up here, a homeless man in the hallway was ogling at me. I thought he was going to rob me." Homeless guy hanging out in the hallway? That's a pretty fitting description for her upstairs neighbor, even if he is not homeless. "That's just George from upstairs, Mom. He's a hippie. He wouldn't hurt a fly." Literally. Maria hums in response, her lips pursing for one moment. It makes Ella tense. Her mother waves a hand to the side and sighs. "Whatever you want to believe, sweetheart." She starts walking towards Ella's small love seat in the dress bag she brought. "I'm actually here to bring you your dress for the wedding. I went with a Chanel design I thought would fit your style." Ella sighs inside her head. She knew it. The dress her mother pulls out of the bag is the most atrocious piece of clothing Ella has ever seen. It's not even a dress. It's a 2-piece suit with a knee-length skirt covered in that square print you see on kilts, except black and blue and edges bedazzled with gold and gems. It looks stiff and formless and super uncomfortable, not at all like the dress Frank the tailor has designed for her. "Mom, this is not necessary. I already have a dress." Maria scoffs. "What? That black atrocity in your closet?" "Of course she went, though, Ella's closet. You can't wear that to the Bocelli resort. You'll be a laughingstock." Ella glances down at the borderline suit in her mother's hand, as if that thing is any better than her original choice. "I'm not wearing the black dress. My actual dress is still at the tailor's for adjustments. The black one was just an extra." Maria's lips purse again, and she takes a moment to form her next sentence. "That's promising, at least. Take this Chanel as well, to be sure. I need to see your dress before you show it to anyone else. And do think about visiting my hairdresser. Your hair would look so much better if it was a few shades lighter." Ella tries not to, but the thought of taking that monstrosity on her couch anywhere just makes her scrunch up her nose. Her mother notices instantly. Maria stiffens up and raises her chin. Ella's mind screeches to a halt. "Excuse me? What's with that face? Does this dress not measure up to your impossible expectations?" It's made by a professional designer and is worth more than your entire wardrobe combined. I've spent a lot of money on this, thinking it would at least fit your aesthetic while still being somewhat refined. I really try with you, Ella, but nothing I do for you is ever appreciated. I have no idea why I still endeavor to protect you from the consequences of your decisions. I'm even letting you take that pretty boy toy of yours to the wedding instead of any of the better options I have been offering you on a silver platter. What does he even do for a living, Ella? Ella snaps out of her daze at the direct question. She doesn't know what to say. She can't say he's a goon in the mafia. That would ruin their entire arrangement. He's in the family business. Another scoff, and Maria shakes her head at Ella slowly. Sure he is. Must be the only place that will hire him. Does he spend his father's money too? She raises a hand and closes her eyes before Ella can even think of reacting. Don't answer that. I'm upset and sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. I'm sure your boyfriend has his assets. I'm going to go home and calm down. I'll see you at the airport, along with your friend. I'll update our seats to include him. She starts walking away and waves at the outfit she left on the back of Ella's couch. Don't forget your Chanel. Love you. Ella's mother throws a kiss in her direction and then lets herself out. Ella stays right where she is, standing in the middle of her living room, staring at the door for longer than is warranted. Any relaxation the shower gave her has completely fled. Ella glances at the monstrosity on her couch, shakes her head, and goes to bed. She's absolutely, completely done with this day. Her bed is not the sanctuary she wanted it to be. Ella thought she'd fall asleep the moment her head hit her pillow, but the reality is different. She just lays there, staring at the light beam shining through the one wonky slat in her blinds. It's not as if her mind is churning. She's completely blank. She just can't sleep. After half an hour, Ella gives up and grabs her phone to text Kylie. Except Kaylee is still working a late shift, and she doesn't answer. When Ella swipes out of the conversation, her eyes land on Damien's name. Maybe he'll chat with her for a bit. He might send more silly animal gifts. Ella doesn't even need to think of an excuse to talk to him. Her mother gave her one. Hey, Damien, do you have a mafioso hairdresser too? Damien answers almost immediately. I've got a guy. You want him now? Ella instantly declines with a huff. He would probably be at her door in 5 minutes if she didn't say no immediately. I was thinking about this weekend or something. Done. Anything else you need? I know of a good spa if you want. They have some great packages for couples. Ella stares at the message until tears well up in her eyes. This is what she could have if she was actually a successful person. Someone who cares for her and wants to go on dates with her. Instead, she's left with this tantalizing vision of what could be, except it's in a guy that's paid to deal with her. She roughly wipes at her eyes. This day is done. She needs to sleep and reset her brain. She accepts Damien's offer, resolving to put her phone away and go to sleep. Damien answers before she has turned on her alarm for the next day. It'll be amazing, you'll see. Good night. Well, that's the first time in a long time anyone wished her a good night. He's still typing, so Ella waits to see what he says. Don't let the bedbugs bite, Ella snorts. Only kids say stuff like, but imagining manly man Damien saying this to her in a cutesy voice is an adorable mental image. Good night, Damien. She turns off her screen and buries herself in her blankets. Sleep finds her soon after.